Wondered what turns a good project manager into an extraordinary leader? It's all about mastering leadership. Teams often face misalignment, stalled projects, and low motivation. Challenges what drain time and opportunities. Today, we uncover the secrets of leadership mastery with senior project manager Mark Beseliya. Learn how to empower your team, overcome challenges, and drive innovation. You gain strategies to build high-performing teams, foster trust with stakeholders, and create a legacy of successful projects, all while staying adaptive. Stay tuned to transform your leadership style and elevate your project outcomes starting today. Welcome to the Innovation Frontier podcast, Redefining Business, where we explore groundbreaking ideas, strategies, and stories from leaders who are transforming industries. I'm your host, Timothy Ivaikin, and today we have exceptional guests joining us, Mark Beseliya. Mark is a seasoned senior project manager who has mastered the art of leading complex projects, fostering innovations, and building high-performing teams. In this episode, we'll uncover his strategies for navigating challenges, driving success, and shaping lasting legacy in the business world. Whenever you're here to learn about cutting-edge project management or gain inspiration for your own journey, the episode has something for everyone. So let's dive into the frontier of innovation. Okay. Hello, Mark. Let's start.
Hello, Timothy. Thanks for the invitation.
This podcast is organized into three segments, each with a targeted question. We invite you to share real-world experiences and insights. Each segment will cover some important information from experience you can share. So first we will go through the project strategy and execution. I think our viewers will be very interested in learning about that from your experience. And this is covering project planning, resource management, and navigating complex project challenges. So I think we can start. So project planning is at the core of successful execution. How do you approach planning to ensure that projects stay on track and meet their objectives?
That's very good questions. I think that based on my previous experience, my last experience, the main important point here is to align with the client. Because all planning strongly depends upon the requirements gathering. So especially in enterprise projects, it's always sometimes that might be quite complicated, but it's crucial importance to being aligned with the client, because the more detailed information we might be able to get from the client side, the more effective we will manage the client's expectations, the more effective we will plan, because the planning and the estimation, the roadmaps building as itself mostly depends upon the product and technical expertise. So it's just a matter of gathering the experts together and provide the estimations, maybe have a few rounds of that. But particularly on the project scope, on what to estimate exactly, that at that point, I believe that the project management representatives and business analytics, they have to spend definitely at least minimum, I would say 5 or even more sessions, I believe, with the client, especially if we are talking about big projects, in order to be confident that we gathered and we covered all even potential clients' needs. That's what I can say. So, and based on that, we will just provide the planning on all these project and agile sessions. At least this is my approach, and based on my experience and the challenges which I was met before, I think that might be the most effective approach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for that. It's really inspiring. Can you share an example of a particularly challenging project and how your planning approach helped steer it to success?
Yeah, like my last project, and it's still going on. Like we work with one government entity in the Middle East region. So there we had a few rounds with requirements gathering. So the managers from the client side, they changing each other quite fast because this is a government entity, and like I believe that it was at least minimum 3 or 4 times when we gathered and collaborated with the client, with even new stakeholders, new clients representatives, in order to align and manage their expectations. Because every time, even if we meet with the same person just after 1 or 2 quarters, like because this is the enterprise and it's like really valuable to staying aligned with the client to provide them with like new features and new updates, we made this kind of sessions even within the contract like a few times. So in order just to stay in line, because like the client's understanding, let's say 3 months ago, all the things might be changed. And if you like, let's say like a vendor representative, if we are talking about like integration or implementation projects, if you will not push from your end, if you will not be inspired in order to like being deeply collaborated with the client's understanding of the project, that might cause a risks actually, because like because big projects in that regions that might they are quite sensitive. So and here the showing care about client is the main important thing, I believe.
Yeah, that's really true, and it shows the importance of empathy in client communication.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. Yeah, exactly.
And also, if you are not considering the changes, which definitely will occur, it will involve a risk in the project.
Absolutely.
Projects often come with unforeseen risks, yes. And how do you identify and manage these risks early on to minimize their impact?
That's really important point, because risk management is, I believe, that one of the main part, like in the project management world. How can we name it? So yeah, in my projects related to the enterprise and government related streams, there are a lot of risks there. Because, as I mentioned before, the government entity and the HR changes and people changes in these big entities, it's normal thing for that, and we always have to arrange some kind of risk management sessions with our team, also the risk management sessions with stakeholders. So also it's based on their ITIL processes which were implemented. So like a best practice is always to track potential risks, always renew it, and always prepare some buffer, even in terms of development. Like we, like I'm really proud that I work with like high professional team, and we always like keeping in mind that we have to use buffers in terms of development capacity, in terms of QA capacity, in terms of management capacity, in order to being prepared with some unforeseen risks. Because like definitely you can like you can make 3 hours long risk management session, and you might be absolutely confident that you covered all corner cases, particularly, let's say, even before deployment cycle on the let's say private government infrastructure. But anyway, there is a like quite high chance that something might be appeared, and you have to be ready, at least from the basis, let's say, from the capacity. So I think that compose that kind of agile rituals for risk management sessions, we always calculate a buffer for some unforeseen risks. I mean, me and our team.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Totally agree. Could you give an example where you had to pivot a project due to unexpected issues? Something which made the direction of project totally be changed.
You mean that the example when we faced with some kind of unexpected major changes?
Yeah, for example, if we just random example, if we created the McDonald's enterprise and suddenly we need to sell kid toys, something like that.
We had this like quite urgent major changes. To be honest, that happens from time to time. I don't think that only in Middle East region. I think that there is like a high chance to meet this kind of project cases in all government-related activities. So first of all, we always try to align, as I mentioned before, with the client in terms of priorities, because it's always like that. That client came with some kind of changes, but client did not groom these changes before, let's say, from the product point of view, from organizational point of view, and business always wants, and it's okay, it's normal thing. However, this is very sensitive point where actually you have to slightly at least try to manage the client in order to understand, do they really need these major changes or not? Because anyway, you as a vendor, let's say, because my experience is mostly from a vendor side. So here also it's a tricky point that actually vendor is an expert, let's say, as a role here. And definitely like we have to groom this with the client. But any case, if client really needs that, we have to accept it. And here it's like, I believe, just the way how we deprioritize other things and how can we operate with our team's capacity. It's also about agile team strength. So that's about how team is prepared for that. And we always, as a managers, we always transfer that kind of understanding and approach to our team, that we have to be fully prepared that the things which we did before, they might be 180% degrees, whatever, changed. Because like this is how the IT works now. Even the enterprise can be like I don't know, maybe 5 or 7 years ago it was not like that, but everything changed so fast. And even the enterprise's approach, even their understanding, let's say, that they want some even for the enterprise platforms, they need some, let's say, front-end content management systems. Then they decided totally, let's say, determinate it. That's like, okay, my case, let's say. And we had to adapt to it, and because we grow up a strong agile principles in our development team, that's why we were able to estimate and provide and find the win-win solution in terms of the time range with the client and execute it successfully. So I think, like, to sum it up, this question for the major changes from the client side, first of all, the team should be prepared. The team should be like a strong agile team, because only a strong team might be able to adapt with the changes. If you cannot change the situation, so it means you have to adapt your approach to this kind of situation. In that case, we have to grow our technical and product expertise constantly. That's what I can say about it.
Yeah, that's also inspiring as well. I think there is a human element here. So you can tell what is a resource, and one of main resources is a human being. And human being is not just a resource. We need to think about their aspirations and goals to be strong leaders. How do you manage that?
That's one of my favorite topics, to be honest, because I believe that when someone decides that he wants to be a project manager or just a manager, when that someone decides that he might be able to take a responsibility in being a leader, he should answer like himself like on a few questions. And I think one of the most important questions is, like, I started my career in IBM, and I'm still, like, I don't know, happy to the universe that I had a good teachers and mentors there. And one of my mentors, he told me, like, you have to choose, do you want to be a leader or you want to be a manager? Manager, I mean, like, that toxic interpretation of, I think that everyone understands that there is a percentage from the management who do not have an empathy. If we're talking only about the function, like I'm a manager, that's my function. So, and the difference, and I was always trying to think about people. And as how you, Timothy, mentioned, it's like, I believe that manager and leader should inspire people, because we always faced with the challenges, and all development work, it's an effort actually. So and you have to inspire your people. You have to show that you work with your people together, that you are not just a manager who delegating some Jira tasks, let's say, literally. So from my end, I understand that even if something crucial happens in the project, let's say we're failing during deployment, and okay, I'm manager, I'm not a DevOps engineer, but anyhow, I'm with my team. Even if the hot fix is I don't know how many hours, because this is an enterprise. But the good manager, from my perspective and my understanding, should think that the human being is the main resource, and we have to care about our people. We have to care about their future. We have to care about their satisfying about being in the company with us and dealing with this routine. So I think that's this is the main priorities for the manager if he wants to be a leader. That's my understanding.
Amazing. Has there been a time when limited resources led to creative solution or breakthrough, and what was the outcome of that? When you had not enough resources, it was considered impossible, but still there is a way.
Yeah, one interesting case came into my mind. It was this government project, and I think almost every government is like that. Government wants to have a milestone as a government holiday, to have some kind of development milestone or rollout milestone, just before some government holiday. It's like normal KPI for the government. However, there was a case when we started copying the platform on the government and private infrastructure, and it was very challenging process. So because to be honest, it was, I could name it some kind of unique experience in the region maybe, and that was quite complicated thing. And actually we were under real pressure from the client side, because sometimes business wants to optimize something, to accelerate the process in order to meet constantly changes needs. And here I literally physically felt that we have time limitations and we have limited resources. So the way how I managed this situation, to be honest, I was listening only my instincts, literally, I believe, at those moments. So I just said no, literally, to the client. Sometimes you have to act like this. And the way how you explain to the client and the way how you present this no, when you always give an option, I think that's the most effective way. Because in my case, it worked. Because I realized, based on my, previous experience with also complicated stakeholders, or just the way understanding life, let's say from the logical perspective, I understood that we have technical obstacles also. We have limited resources, but the way how we can throw the ball to the client side in order to share our understanding and to bring the reality, to bring more percentage of the reality with the conversation, because business always wants to optimize. It's business role, from my understanding, and it's normal. Just with the way how we find it, the way how we explain, and the way how we collaborate with the client, and to show our care to the client also works, even when you say no. Because from my perspective, better to manage with the client's expectations with providing the actual status of the things and just being fair when you're dealing with the projects. Either like being not transparent with the client expectations, which might cause more higher risks in the future, even if you promise, and even if you potentially like fake it until you make it approach even before this government holiday. Me personally, I prefer to being fair even when you say no. There is a lot percentage of people who respect the truth, even when the truth is not sweet. So especially in project management, I think this is very important to being transparent with the client and even to say client no, but in an effective and productive way. That's how I managed the limited resources like in extreme cases, because like by default the resources are always limited.
Yes, I understand that. Are there any cases where not where it was a way not to extend delivery date and not to just cut, but find what client really needed deep in their heart and provide completely different thing compared to what was expected originally?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it was like that when we got some client requests, and like we estimated it, we understood that that might take, let's say, 1/4 of development, but the way because I like to work with the like professional teams is that we have product managers which may be picky, but in a good way in this case, because they product managers will always help administrative managers, let's say, to groom the product from the way like maybe we can deliver them something already, just the way how to present this to the client, just to dig a bit deeper into this product view from the client needs. And the way it worked, that like in a few like it was a few cases when it worked, like we realized that we can just adjust the like the feature which we already have, and like instead of creating something from scratch for like 4 or 5 sprints, we can easily develop it even just for 1 week, let's say. So it's always important to like my approach is whenever I got the request from the client is to collect the experts from the different project roles to get the 360 overview, and it always worked. So I believe like 3-4 experts can easily groom from the product point of view some complicated client's request, which will save the money for the business in it like in the end. So that's always the approach which I prefer to use.
Yeah, totally agree. Project success often depends on stakeholder alignment. How do you manage stakeholder expectations and keep them aligned through the project?
Depends upon the case. Let's say I had a few government-related projects, and what I realized is that there is no unique solution for that, because people are different, stakeholders are different, and the understanding of how to communicate are different. And the way of success here, I think, is that the manager should have strong emotional IQ, EQ, and he should easily find the way how to get the stakeholder attention and understand stakeholder needs, because every stakeholder has his own goals, and it's okay. Like we are all humans, and it's okay. And I think the way how manager can understand the client needs and how can he establish the contact with these stakeholders based on understanding his goals in this project is the key to success. So for some stakeholders, it's need that you should arrive in office and you have to spend 1 week just to being on site, just to drink a coffee with the stakeholder, because this is the type of the person, let's say. And like you can spend 2 or 3 days, and then you will never have a communication problem, because like you showed your dedication to the project and to the stakeholders' needs. You showed that you understand the client needs and you establish the connection, that you will never have a communication problem. So for some persons, it's just the matter of 1 week meetings, let's say, because we have some technical application supports team, this ITIL processes team, they like it's easier here. Like you can just to set up 1 week meeting just to stay in line with some minor things, and it's okay. For mostly business owners perspective, usually it's like account management style. So it's just you always care, you always show empathy, and you always are with the client. It depends. Sometimes, me personally, I had to have quite long business trips in the region. Because that was the period, that was the project stage, and that was needed. So, and that was my duty, to be honest, as we can name words as it is. So sometimes, yeah, and that helped. I believe that was very good impact for the project. When I stayed there, when we met personally, because in the Middle East it's very important. It's about the cultural aspects, that the people should shake your hand, the people should take a look in your eyes. This is really important. From other cultures, or for experts who work in the different cultures, that might be like some minor things, but in fact that means a lot. And the manager should also understand the cultural aspects where he drives the projects actually. So this is the way for every stakeholder, for every person. I think the successful manager should find a unique approach. That's the magic of the management. That's the magic of EQ, of empathy. That's my understanding.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Sounds good. One question on my side. Just interesting how you actually manage to find the balance. It can be tricky, and when we're talking about stakeholders, in many cases, clients and stakeholders want from team a lot money that team can produce. How you manage to find its start point to have that balance and all and make all happy?
That's a very good question, and to be honest, that's I think the most crucial challenge when we constantly face, to be honest, because this is really hard, and I couldn't say that we got the success for 100%. No, definitely no. I'll be honest with you. So sometimes we win, sometimes we can explain, sometimes we can protect even, because there might be. I had a few cases when we had to protect our success, because sometimes the stakeholders cannot see the value, and it's okay. Just you cannot change the stakeholder. You cannot change the person in the government entity with whom you communicate with. But it doesn't mean that you should not solve this issue. You should, as if you are a manager, and here is always a risk balance. So sometimes we have to accept. Sometimes we have to stay longer. Let's say after 6 p.m., 7 p.m., because we understand that this is important, and we have to spend our efforts here, but it is always prioritization sessions. To be honest, in our current project, we always try to find the time for prioritization session, because client always throw new requests, always, constantly. They never stop. And the way I think our achievement here is that we told them, and we really got the understanding that if everything is urgent, nothing is urgent at all. That's, I think, our biggest achievement as a management team, that we got their understanding that okay means that we have to prioritize. And I just told them, okay, we can say yes to everything. We will not deliver this in the end of this week, dear colleagues. If you just want to get my okay or proof, I can tell you, but I'm not the person who doesn't stick to his words. That's why I don't want to tell you that we will deliver whatever you want with all these changes till the end of the week. And sometimes they constantly give us this request. They want more and more, but we said, okay, we will prioritize it, but the way what you requested and what was urgent for you 1 week ago, we will deliver after one sprint, because our capacity is over. Otherwise, we have more budgets just to hire more resources. I think this is the biggest achievement what we got. That was it was a lot of troubles, a lot of struggles, a lot of mistakes because of that. And until the client understood from its own perspective that if everything urgent, nothing is urgent at all, then. But I think that we had a 2 or 3 really crisis situation until we got this understanding. But hopefully now we got it. But this is the challenge number 1, to be honest. What you mentioned, that's true.
Yeah, sounds great that you make that agreement with client.
Yeah, just we had to be honest, a lot of people, they do not feel confident to say straight no to the client. But sometimes your career put you in these situations that either you will learn how to say no even to the government, even if you are a vendor, even if you are in high risky project. That's why it's high risky project. You have to be confident what to communicate to the client. And if you are expert and you understood that you have to say no because it's impossible, and the client should accept the reality. That was from one perspective, it's just easy to say no. From another perspective, you have to be ready for that. You have to communicate this confidence that no, you also have to accept the reality. You also have to accept the technical obstacles which will always exist in the projects. And from my perspective, because we had a mistake, we had the challenges with that. In my upcoming projects, for my next projects, I will start this practice saying no with the client as soon as it could be possible, to be honest. In case if we face something which is not totally realistic.
Yeah, even with new projects, it's a bit sometimes challenging to understanding the border of the scope, since it's like you said, it's always growing, always
they will always change. To be honest, they will always change. Even if you understand that we absolutely align. That's why I mentioned before that you have to be constantly aligned with the client, because the terminology constant doesn't exist here. That's why you have to constantly align, because they will always change something. Even one particular case, we showed absolutely the same feature 3 months ago. We got the approval from the business owner side. We show the feature one more time, we got additional changes, just because it's psychological aspect of you. He was satisfied 2 months ago, then his mood was changed and he understood that he wants something extra, or totally another thing. And that happens. That's what we are facing.
I think there is a very important part about trust with stakeholder here. So he can trust you to help you to understand what he is really want to achieve. So for example, this stakeholder doesn't need to have huge enterprise system. He needs to solve his one specific problem, for example, and this could be done in less time and with smaller budget. But usually we don't have full trust to discuss all of details like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. It's about trust, and it's also how we discussed just 10 minutes ago. That's about establish the empathy connection, especially in the Middle East. the more confident stakeholder will feel with you, that you are fair, that you are transparent, that you are proactive, that you know your product, that you have the expertise, the more also open the stakeholder will be with you. That's absolutely, I agree with you what you just mentioned, Timothy. Yeah.
I agree. And what do you think will help to create this trust? Empathy, yes, I agree. What else?
I think that from strategic perspective, I think that it will be better because now the culture integration, the business understanding integration between different economic, let's say, centers, they're interchanging, and the people become, the experts become more, how, let's say, business multicultural, something like that. So the more projects we will get, the like multicultural projects between different experts, between the experts from Euro business world, the, let's say, Asian, Middle East business worlds. Like, I think the more trust it will, the more trustful these relations will be. I mean, from strategic perspective. And anyway, the amount of the projects will be like it will be more high quality projects in terms of we will understand the clients better and they will understand, like, let's say, vendor representatives better. So I think we somehow strategically were in the beginning of the way, and that's a good trend, definitely. That's I'm really impressed, and that anyway, like, we like collaborate and drive quite complex projects, and we understand the culture of each other. That's an amazing. That's what IT gifted us for last at least 5 years. So I think it will be better. Just the more interconnections will exist between different companies, government entities, projects, whatever, the more people will be involved by collaborating with each other, by generating technical value in this world. I think the more effective it will be. So we are moving in the right direction here, I believe.
And I heard one of most important part about trust, and I see it in real life, is when you promise something you really can do, and you deliver on your promise, and you do it many times, and
Yes.
That just creates trust, because people see what you're promised and you delivered.
That's the main important thing, that you are fair and transparent with your client, and you stick to your promises. If you think that it's impossible, you say no. The client is aware, the client is informed, and the more cases we will get like this and during the projects, the more successful that projects will become, definitely.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Could you share a story about a time when misaligned expectations created challenges and how you addressed them?
Yeah, I could say that. We had a situation, let's say it's not about product, it's more about process. So we developed a feature and the client was happy. So the business owner's team, they planned to launch it as usual. Because we were not deeply involved in ITIL processes which were established from the client end, we were not fully informed that we have to proceed with all this change request journey, which usually exists in big entities, especially government related. So we launched it actually when the business owner side requested this. That caused quite sensitive situation. So the team which was responsible for change requests flow, and the team which was responsible for the feature deployment, actually, this team was not informed that the vendors, they just they deployed something in production, and that caused a negative feedback almost immediately. And so I put the fire myself, and I just uh, I just arranged some sync up meetings with different departments to explain the situation and to ask involve me and our team more in this ITIL process in order to get the understanding. So it's always to use a concept that to being transparent and like fair with the client, because we didn't know about that we should create these change requests and proceed with it, and that takes time, and we even didn't know about it. In case if we like had this knowledge before, we might definitely like inform business owners that it will not be launched as app this night. It will be launched in 1 week approximately. However, that was hard because the people are emotional there, but like always, as I said, the being transparent and fully open with the client, with open heart and mind, that actually was the reason that this let's say like fail was not escalated, because there is always a chance like that some project failure or product failure might be escalated to the top management. It is always a bad incident, especially in the government entities. And so yeah, we mitigated this on our level. So it was the matter of reactive communication, because like proactive reactive communication, so understood that it is a mistake, the way that we showed to the client the dedication that we apologize for that, and we did know that the process before, and we asked to teach us, and they did that. So that's how we mitigated, I mean, in this particular case.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I think I want to tell you a bit more about leadership and collaboration in team. And I have a question about building a cohesive project team. In project management, team cohesion is crucial. What strategies do you use to build a collaborative and high-performing project team?
And let me add and extend the question a bit. Do you think leader and managers should be one person, or it can be is that responsibilities can be split with different roles, or it can be like different level of organization? Just also interesting your opinion on that.
To be honest, this is an amazing question, guys. Well, first of all, I believe that it should not be only one person. I'm that kind of manager who believe in the common approach. So even for the team that might be two leaders, it's okay. If leaders understand each other, if the leaders have the same principles and the way how to work with people, with process, with the product, it's okay. In our case, I am not only the one leader. So for our development team, we work as let's say partners in project, in this government project with the technical director. And I think this is amazing, because we found our zones of responsibilities and we grow the team from scratch, actually, and that worked. So it also might be a chance then there is a one leader, two leaders, three leaders, even the group of leaders. It depends upon how they collaborate with each other, which principles do they use, because I totally believe in the fact that the way how leader or manager, the way how he stick to his principles, and what principles actually this manager has, that's the key of success. I mean, this is the key of how to build the team, because we always, we always compose which is in our mind, especially if we hire people, if we grow the team. The principles which I stick to, what Timothy mentioned, is that if you want to build a strong, effective team, be strong and effective like by yourself. First of all, it's always the beginning. The way how you show the team when they are just hired new persons, even if they are seniors, even if they are experts with 10 years of experience, they are newcomers in this business, in this company. From my perspective, and I strongly believe in that, if the people who just joined the project, they see project manager who is not dedicated to the project what he's managed, 99.9% that the people who are hired, even if they were motivated just before their hiring, they will be demotivated, I believe, just during the first months. If they see that the project manager is not dedicated, if they see that like something like challenging happening in the project and the project manager just act like this only email, I call it email managers, that he delegate all the troubles on the team, he's not involved, he's waiting only for the success in the Slack messenger, that everything is solved. From my perspective, if you plan to build a team which supports you later, because this is the main thing, like let's say me and the technical director, when we started the project, we were actually just together. We call it like Chip and Dale cartoon. So we understood that we definitely should like build a team. That was obvious. And every new developer which was hired, he saw that me and like my colleague, we are not going off after 6 p.m. let's say. So we are staying until we will not fix the urgent things which are crucial for the client. And that shows the rules, that shows the attitude, because and it works also for me when we had some really like crisis periods in the project. The top management who stayed with me for the whole night, it was the sign that okay, if executive level stayed with the team, let's say for the whole night, the dedication means that I have to do that, because I got the example, I got the case that the management is dedicated. At my level, I have to be also dedicated, and the team feels that. So in our case, we grow up the culture in our team that everyone should support each other, because every newcomer was supported by more experienced colleagues from knowledge perspective, from like collaboration perspective, some agile perspective, from psychological even perspective, because we had risky and pressure project. So, but it starts from the manager. It starts from the daily, from the manager's routine. If managers are always online, if the SLA and reply managers is like within the limit, let's say, and you show your dedication, in most of cases the team will repeat the same. In most of cases the team will repeat the same. There will be always a percentage of people who are not involved. It's normal, it's life. We cannot inspire 100% of people. There is a people with different goals, and sometimes they cannot be matched totally like with the same, but that happens. But the main achievement here is when you grow the team who understand our principles, and there were like we were lucky on that, I might say. So and that showed me that this approach works quite effective, and I will continue to stick with it.
Yeah, I see. And at what limit do you think non-engaged people should be reallocated or removed from a project? What is the limit here?
It's a tricky question, to be honest, because there is not like unique solution for that. It's case by case. But based on my experience, the life will show. It might be an obvious expression, but it's really like this. First of all, you should not, sometimes it happens that you understand that the person doesn't match your expectations, and sometimes you might be you might be really unhappy, and you think that like, okay, I can optimize my team and fire someone, but you have to stop here, because as I mentioned before, first of all, we are humans, and our main resource is human being. And when you see the negative deviation from the agile team, you have to work with it first. So it's my understanding that you have to stop, to turn off your emotions, because emotions, it should not be like the place for it here. And you have to understand that first of all, there are people, maybe you can work with their motivation. It should be always a space for improvement. You have to try, because this is your people. But sometimes we understand that when life shows you that you tried, and you tried all options, and you still see the negative effects, in that case, you have to stick to your principles. Why are you here? You're here in order to make the project successful, and then you can make your decisions based on that.
Yeah, agree on that. Maybe you can highlight some success story when you like share a time when team collaboration led a project success.
I could say that compare the challenges which we are constantly facing with enterprise projects. Almost every product cycle is the result of the team's collaboration, and is the result of our team's strength, because we work with a lot of restrictions, because this is a government-related infrastructure, and the security is their key focus. And like we will definitely not be able to manage this without the strong team, and without the resource allocation, the dedication from the team to force the challenges and to achieve the success, the inspiration. I think that's all what we had, and that's all what we have, and moreover, that's all what we need in a nutshell. So it's just the way how you drive the team, the way how you motivate the people, and the way how you protect your success.
I see. Good. When team members or stakeholders have conflicting priorities, it can impact project progress. How do you handle?
We were actually just together. We call it like Chip and Dale cartoon. So we understood that we definitely should like build a team. That was obvious. And every new developer which was hired, he saw that me and like my colleague, we are not going off after 6 p.m. let's say. So we are staying until we will not fix the urgent things which are crucial for the client. And that shows the rules, that shows the attitude, because and it works also for me when we had some really like crisis periods in the project. The top management who stayed with me for the whole night, it was the sign that okay, if executive level stayed with the team, let's say for the whole night, the dedication means that I have to do that. Because I got the example, I got the case that the management is dedicated. At my level, I have to be also dedicated, and the team feels that. So in our case, we grow up the culture in our team that everyone should support each other, because every newcomer was supported by more experienced colleagues, from knowledge perspective, from like collaboration perspective, some agile perspective, from psychological even perspective, because we had risky and pressure project. So, but it starts from the manager. It starts from the daily, from the manager's routine. If managers are always online, if the SLA and reply managers is like within the limit, let's say, and you show your dedication in like in most of cases, the team will repeat the same. In most of cases, the team will repeat the same. There will be always a percentage of people who are not involved. It's normal. It's life. We cannot inspire 100% of people. There is a people with different goals, and sometimes they cannot be matched totally, like with the same. But that happens. But the main achievement here is when you grow the team who understand our principles, and there were like we were lucky on that, I might say. So and that showed me that this approach works quite effective, and I will continue to stick with it.
Yeah, I see. And at what limit do you think non-engaged people should be reallocated or removed from a project? What is the limit here?
It's a tricky question, to be honest, because there is not like unique solution for that. It's case by case. But based on my experience, the life will show. That might be an obvious expression, but it's really like this. First of all, you should not. Sometimes it happens that you understand that the person doesn't match your expectations, and sometimes you might be you might be really unhappy, and you think that like, okay, I can optimize my team and fire someone, but you have to stop here, because as I mentioned before, first of all, we are humans, and our main resource is human being. And when you see the negative deviation from the agile team, you have to work with it first. So it's my understanding that you have to stop, to turn off your emotions, because emotions, it should not be like the place for it here. And you have to understand that first of all, there are people, maybe you can work with their motivation. There should be always a space for improvement. You have to try, because this is your people. But sometimes we understand that when life shows you that you tried, and you tried all options, and you still see the negative effects, in that case, you have to stick to your principles. Why are you here? You're here in order to make the project successful, and then you can make your decisions based on that.
Yeah, agree on that. Maybe you can highlight some success story when you share a time when team collaboration led a project success.
I could say that compare the challenges which we are constantly facing with enterprise projects. Almost every product cycle is the result of the team's collaboration, and is the result of our team's strength, because we work with a lot of restrictions, because this is a government-related infrastructure, and the security is their key focus, and we will definitely not be able to manage this without the strong team, and without the resource allocation, the dedication from the team to force the challenges and to achieve the success, the inspiration. I think that's all what we had, and that's all what we have, and moreover, that's all what we need in a nutshell. So it's just the way how you drive the team, the way how you motivate the people, and the way how you protect your success.
I see. Good. When team members or stakeholders have conflicting priorities, it can impact project progress. How do you handle these situations to keep everyone focused?
Yeah, it's always like that. The different stakeholders, they have different KPIs, and it's normal. That's life. I think the win-win solution is, first of all, but me personally, I always try to have all-hand meeting here, because sometimes it's need to group people together, even from different departments, just to let them talk. Because like when you as an execution manager, you have two options, like to say yes and fake it until you make it, which I don't like, and to being fair and transparent. The best way how to sometimes, and I always try to use like that, the best way how to find the win-win solution is just to group people together, because mostly people do not communicate with each other. That's what I realized while working with an enterprise entities. It's a huge organization, and like the people just focus on their KPI. They can even be in one office and they just do not communicate to each other. They do not go to lunch, and they just do not shake their hands. They just communicate via emails. But because when your project depends on the alignment and on the prioritization sessions from these different stakeholders, like I think that, like me personally, I always collect them in a meeting, and I always like try to communicate and try to provide him with this kind of understanding that without your prioritization, nothing will be delivered, and no one is interested in having zero in delivery. And it worked, because they had to find, and the solution will always be able to find. When people have only one goal to define the solution, or no one from them will meet their expectations and goals, the solution is always able and possible to find.
Yeah, I agree with that. And can you describe a time when you had to resolve a conflict to maintain project momentum, like specific case when we had project momentum going on, we had a big conflict, and how do you make sure still have momentum?
Yeah, this is the question totally from psychological perspective, because all conflicts is about emotions. Conflicts the conflicts in a way that just some people do not want to collaborate to each other. It's just the way when you have to use empathy, when you have to understand the human psychology, and when you sometimes have to make a step back. That was with me. I can tell you the case that I had an unexpected not conflict, is I think it's quite big word for that, but I had some kind of misunderstanding with one of the stakeholders, and also based on my understanding and I think instincts, I realized that I have to make a step back in terms of communication, because sometimes you have to let the people breathe out, and you have to just to fade in the gray a little bit. So that's why it's important to have two or even more communication point from the client. So sometimes just the client cannot understand you, or is just simply the bad day, the bad mood for the client, and just you have to make a step back just to not make his days worse. Sometimes it happens, but the second communication point should immediately replace you, because the project success is the key point here. And also we always request the communication map from the client side, because sometimes like we might all have not best day and not the 100% productive day in our lives, and sometimes just we have to replace the communication points, but still we have the same goals, like let's say product delivery goals or some kind of process goals, whatever. So in that case, we operate with this approach that if we have misalignment and we understand that this is about potential conflicts, emotions, some EQ things, we just simply replace the points of context and the let's say literally email threads going on. So the communication is going on. Then sometimes, usually, let's say in 80% of cases, it's just the matter of 1 day silence. So everyone breathe out, Then we understand that life is going on, project is going on, value is delivering, and then let's say that was in my case. So I just simply like came back into like 2-3 days, and then the misalignment was solved. Sometimes that happens, and we continued to communicate with the stakeholders normally.
Amazing case. And projects rarely go as planned. How do you keep your team adaptable to changes while maintaining focus on that goal?
Yeah, that's life. First of all, we always tell to the team that like changes, it's okay. So we have to accept it. We cannot avoid it. We cannot run out from it. So we have to accept it, and we have to accept what we work in IT. IT world changes like extremely fast, and it will change even more faster. So I think everyone who is in actually accept it already. So it's just, as I mentioned before, it's just the way, like, show by yourself that you are acceptable with the changes. So because show that you are not falling in stress or panic that when changes come, because the changes will come, and it's okay. So the way of how you like transfer the confidence to the team, I think, is the key to success.
Totally agree.
If you transfer the confidence that changes are okay, it's just the whether how you work with these changes. So I think this confidence, it reflects on the team, and that leads to success.
Have you had some project when this part about adaptability was critical for success, and without it, everything could explode?
Yeah, like when we got the request that we have to shift from front end totally to another platform, let's say to the core platform, but to like shift from the content management system quite fast and like totally. I think that we accepted it first, and then we just composed the plan accordingly to our resources and provided with the full transparency to the client, and that was mitigated. But the team was prepared. So it's just the way how you prepare the team. So we transferred this mindset and approach to the team, that because that was the whole project like that. Because we, as I mentioned before, in enterprise and government-related entities, the security is sometimes you can think that it's something enormous, but that's reality, and it's just the way of standards. And you have to, and sometimes the technical team that they don't have the expertise, but that we have to gather it then, and that's how the team learns. And we passed through it. The team was growing in a way, in atmosphere like the changes, it's okay, it's obvious thing. And that's why actually we are prepared for even complicated ad hoc requests. And I also can consider that this is the one of our main important achievements, I believe.
Totally feel it. Tight deadlines can create stress for project teams. How do you keep your team motivated and engaged when working under pressure?
To give a good vacations. I think this is very important. First of all, we try to make this, let's say, like a cycles, because the pressure should not be permanent. This is the key point. So you cannot avoid pressure totally, but you have to manage it. You have to make it at least cycles, because you have to, it's like waves. So pressure, it's like wave. Then this is the distance between it, and this is like brief out. In case if you cannot avoid pressure at all, if you're jumping into the high pressure and high risky projects, just it means that you have to manage it. And we always try, if we realize that like some part of our team who was like fully involved, even with overtimes, with all this stress, we try to give them rest, to ask them about vacation, do they need brief out, to predict the burnout. This is important. This is about care about people. So we are not robots, we are human beings. So this is the way how to use a work-life balance. We have to use it, even in the government projects. It should be like that.
I agree. All right. Could you share an example where you led your team through a high-pressure situation?
Yeah, the last deployment. We had quite long deployment cycle last time, and we showed our dedication, me and our technical director, to the team by ourselves. It was 33 hours bridge call, and we stayed from the beginning till the end. The team they were changing each other. I do not want to recommend this approach. It's just the way how to approach. So how to lead the team. If you're a manager, you should be in the front line. That's the way. So it's about the questions which project manager should ask himself before starting the journey, because that's like that, and you show by your example. You are the mentor for your team, and we passed through this pressure, and also you have to congratulate your team. You should not keep the approach that they were just fighting for idea. No, it's like the way of motivation, that their efforts should be recognized by management, by business, and it's also the responsibility of a good leader to highlight, to remember the efforts, the achievements of every team representative. I think like that.
I totally agree with you. Who is inspiring you as a leader? Let's tell like one person who is inspiring you as a leader, one as some technical person, one as a human being first, and someone who inspires you by their results.
I think it will be a quite long list of names. If I will list it down, I will just, I think, give an overview. All leaders who showed their strength and dedication for the projects, even if this political leaders or some IT leaders or IT influencers, if I know that they use this approach which we were discussed during our interview, that they are dedicated for the value which they bring, with when it is not only about a profit, when it is about the way how you arrange something complicated in order to bring value, in order to make, maybe it will be big words, but to make this world better in a nutshell. If you can use the skills which you have, and that's the people who inspired me. There are a lot of these examples in IT world. In IT world, I could say that definitely Steve Jobs, I think, this the most popular, let's say, example. But to be honest, my real mentors, they were people who are not maybe famous or stars or something. It's just the experts. And I'm really happy, and I'm really lucky about it. I think so, that I met during my career, during the projects, I met the mentor, the people who were much experienced than me, and I still have these people as my friends, as my colleagues, as my partners. That they still inspire me, and I'm still learning a lot on a daily basis, because I understand I'm that kind of person. I'm always learning. I will never say, oh, I know everything, or like I'm expert from the experts or something. I use the approach that you have to constantly learn from the people who are more experienced with you. And so like in IT, the people who really inspired me is definitely also Pavel Durov. it's also a popular person maybe, but he was inspiring me even before the crazy success of Telegram or something. It's just the way that he was passionate and dedicated to the value which he brings to this world actually. So that IT leaders inspires me. From the management perspective overall, it's let's say the people who build something valuable for their countries as a political leaders, let's say the people who are dedicated to result, first of all, to the value. Value-oriented experts, let's say.
It sounds amazing. All right. A bit more about continuous improvement in project management, I think, and it will be a last section of our interview. So, project management is an evolving field, and what practices or habits even have you adopted to keep improving your skills and stay effective?
That's an amazing question, to be honest. I like to read some articles about new trends, new frameworks in project management. The more older I get, let's say, the more interested I become in this. So I really like to read articles about new methodologies, and I like to share it with my colleagues, with the experts, with my mentors, like to share these knowledges, and I receive the same. So what I really like that we try to keep this let's say knowledge bubble, and where we transfer and share the knowledges between ourselves, that keep us being in shape in this extremely changeable world. And I think that's what like keep us as an experts, and keep us as even say maybe ambassadors of some new trends. Is like when Scrum became popular, we started use it after reading these articles. So even before the huge success of Scrum approach, even with government-oriented projects, and it was like a nice feeling when we, me and my colleague, we realized that, that becomes trendy because actually it works and we can measure it by our project. And we just implemented it because we realized that the classic Scrum will not be the most effective way over here. We have to, because we got a lot of requests, we have to use some Kanban here. So and it worked. And that stage. So that was because we are constantly reading something. Because now it's like I don't, to be honest, like I'm a lazy person. When I see this book, like this, some big book, it's like ADHD works. So for me sometimes it's boring. But now the way how we interpretate information like becomes different. So now it's become like more attractive, even with persons with like slight ADHD effects. I'm joking. So like these articles, there are a lot of like there are a lot of interesting and easygoing information. But when you are a senior and when you're expert, it's important for you. So I operate with articles. Like some friends of mine, they like to keep the trends in YouTube. By the way, I started to do the same. So and project management as a theory, it's very interesting when it becomes actually your life. So it's like you are always a researcher. You become always a researcher because you know your needs, you know the challenges which you are facing, and you're like a IT detective. You try to find the new solution. Always trying to find it.
Yeah, totally understand. And maybe you can suggest to our listeners any specific resources or mentors who influenced your approach?
Like me personally, I like Telegram channels. I like Pro PM, and also let me name it. Project Management IT and Pro PM. It's two quite popular Telegram channels. They always post new trends, thoughts, even sometimes maybe philosophical thoughts about the project, and sometimes it correlates with your particular cases, especially sometimes I can read the article with project cases, because in project management we operate a precedence. We always operate a cases, and sometimes just you are reading about some project case and you understand that it's just 80% match. So just literally me, like in me. So and that's amazing that like I remember that maybe 10 years ago it was not like that. 10 years ago, like I started like by reading books. What is Scrum? What is Agile? Because they were not so, I don't know, like, they were not so big data about it. So it was just about the way that you have to go to find a book, then you have to read the book from A to Z, and then okay, you have some kind of overview. In nowadays, like you can be more focused and more precise. So if you're already senior, you can just like, it will be like a Bible for you just to read the project cases when you're senior, and that channels they provide you with it. So from me and my team, it's very helpful.
I see. And project management could be quite demanding. How do you manage your own work-life balance and maintain resilience?
It was a long way, and I'm still on this way. It's about self-management, to be honest. When you can always be in burnout, and it's okay. But to be honest, when I got the feedback from some managers that I constantly burn out, I think that might be a thing how to improve your self-management. Because we might be burnout if you had some extremely pressure, like, I don't know, like 35 hours bridge call or whatever, something like that. It's obvious. But when you are having burnout from daily routine, means that it's something with your self-management, because usually there is always a way how to find the time for yourself, how to find the time for your family, how to find the time for your hobbies, how to find the time on something which like change your focus of attention. So my strongest suggestion to managers who constantly feel that they do not have physically time is to read some articles about self-management. It's important, and it's not so easy how it might like looks like. It's skill, how to self-manage yourself, how to manage your actually your rest, how to manage your free time, how to manage your sleep, because like from long distance, no one should be a constantly burnout manager. We have to be effective. So I think it's about self-management, and I think that the corporate culture will focus more on growing this skill set, especially for young management generation. So self-management is the key to success, and self-management is a discipline which is the same important like PMBOK, let's say. Because without self-management, your PMBOK knowledges will be useless if you will burn out in 3 months.
I agree that, yeah.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
I see. Looking back, what do you consider to be the impact you made through your career in project management?
Like, what was the biggest impact?
Overall, like when you take a look at your past.
I think what I really like in my career, it was that I had the chance to manage projects in big tech and in SMB, in small medium business. So I was in a role when you are a manager in like massive organization in big tech. It make you more focused on the process, and I got the experience on how the IT should work. And why this is important, and this is maybe one of a few ways how to being effective in big tech. At the same time, I had a period in my career when I worked in SMB, and it was like startup vibe, when you have to manage literally everything. And that also grows that skill set, which makes you focused. You can manage the stress and risks and all these important PMBOK aspects. So, and from percentage perspective, I could say that I worked like 50-50. 50% of my career was in big tech, 50% of my career is in SMB. And that gives me quite wide overview on the project management as itself. And I think that, that experience allows me to understand the clients more, I think. So, and also to understand the people more, because sometimes we hire people who work in big tech only, and it might be challengeful to describe to this kind of employees and experts that it's totally another world, and all instruments which you used in big tech, it doesn't work here. It's absolutely another world. That's why also my suggestion to young management generation and to junior and middle experts, try to gather different experience. Do not lock in only in SMB, only in startups, or only in big tech. Try to combine. Because before you become a senior, it's better to have wide overview about how the business world works. That will help you being the most effective at your place. Doesn't matter will you be in big tech or in SMB. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I see it. And what would you like your legacy to be in project management?
Legacy. It's like how to deal with if you have to work with the legacy platforms, and how to manage the side effects of it.
I mean, what do you want people to remember you for in future in project management? Your impact?
It's more philosophical question. I was focused on technical point things. It's an amazing question, to be honest. It's the first time when I was asked, by the way, about it. I'm trying to just. I'm really thankful that I had good mentors, and I will always remember them, and I will always I will always tell people about their names, let's say, literally. And I think that my career will not be useless if I will be able to inspire someone for the growth, for success, for using the methodologies which I showed, let's say, the same how I was growing. And maybe I will make someone's life more effective and help someone's career, especially for people who are dedicated, especially for young experts who just started or who are in the middle of the way. Because I understand that how I was needed in that kind of mentors sometimes when I was in the beginning of the career. And during my projects and all these related activities, when I see that people want to get more experience, want to be more senior, want to be more effective, I'll always try to do my best to share my expertise with these employees, because that's my duty. That's what I want to have as a legacy. as you told.
Yeah,
That maybe for one, or at least for one person, maybe that person might say that some knowledges which helped me in my career, like was shared by Mark Beseliya, let's say, or something like that. I think means that it was not useless.
And for people interested in career in project management, what skills or qualities do you think are essential for success?
First of all, I'm that kind of manager who always vote for soft skills. First of all, if you decide that you plan to build a project management manager career, you have to focus on your soft skills. You have to be interested in people, because you will have to work with people, first of all. First of all with people, then with the product, with the technical platforms. And like, the manager should be always interested in people. He should be always inspired by people. He should like work on himself, how to take a responsibility for the team, because the team is people. Then it's like about hard skills, but like just the way how to plan, to start to plan your daily routine. It is like good beginning actually, to start focus on self-management as soon as it could be possible. So I think the combination of these 3 points might be a good start, but soft skills is the main important thing. So the hard skills, like, you can easily like get it. Just to build Gantt diagrams, it's not quantum physics, to be honest. It's just the way of how much you build it, how many times you build it. So, but the way how to communicate with people, to understand them, that sometimes it might be even more complicated than just to get the hard skills. And sometimes the person understands you in this way that he should be more technical. Let's say maybe he wants to be business analyst because he get tired of people. That happens sometimes. We are all different. Some people are more extroverts, some people are more introvert oriented. So first of all, that should be a match based on soft skills, I believe, like that.
Yeah, I agree. Are there any common misconceptions about project management? What you'd like to clarify?
Misconceptions? I think that it's like, I think what we discussed in the beginning, that sometimes people think that project management is just about that you have some project scope, project timeline, and that's it. Like, you estimated, I think, even if you estimated everything clearly, like, it's just the focus on that we should deliver something before the deadline, or committed to the deadline. That's true. It's impossible to argue with that, but as I mentioned in the beginning, I think the biggest misconception is that some people, they cannot differentiate being a leader and manager. So sometimes, while if you forget about like empathy, people management, and you focus only on KPIs, you will not be able even to realize that you destroyed your team, you failed the project, but you delivered the feature even to the deadline. But from the other aspects, let's say your team will not be able to handle any project after that, because like the half of team like fired, or like just left the company, not even the fired, because they understand they do not work just only with management function, not with a leader, not with a person. So I think this is the biggest misconception, and this is the biggest challenge now, because like, it's my duty to transfer the leadership approach, not the only official toxic management approach. It's like this is the thing with which we should fight with during these periods. So that's why we have to grow leaders, first of all, not only like manage. That's my approach. That's my understanding.
Agree. And last one, what would you consider one of most defining moments in your career as senior project management? And what did they teach you?
I think the whole journey, which was about the government projects in Middle East, was like the most defining thing. So in this experience, it was the lesson for me that you have to be dedicated, you have to trust your people, you have to define who is in your team. You have to be fair with yourself about your goals. You have to understand why are you here and this project. So I think, that last 2 years in my career was the most defining, that I kept sticking to my principles. I kept this people-oriented management approach, and it shows the good results. Actually, that's what I can consider.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's.
Yeah, thank you so much for this introduction. Так, сейчас я вот так вот делаю, чтобы легче на редактуре потом найти кусок. И я запишу 3 кусочка и закончим. 3 кусочка — это какой-то summary под конец, вступление и завершение. Вот, и потом это отредактируем. Сейчас, секунду.
Еще, мне кажется, прекрасно прошло.
Да, по-моему, хорошо прошло. Сейчас последний кусочек запишем, потом отредактировать, и потом вообще будет классный материал. Так.
Вроде нормальные вещи я говорил.
Да, классные вещи. Сейчас так, значит, я записываю summary такой. Да. Сейчас так вот делаем, чтобы легче было найти. Let's take a moment to reflect on the powerful insights Mark shared today. First, he highlighted the difference between leadership and management. True leaders inspire, care for their teams, and empower teams to succeed, not just oversee tasks. Adaptability was another key theme here. Projects rarely go as planned, and being open to change is vital for momentum. Mark also emphasizes transparency and honesty. Whenever it's saying no to a client or guiding a team, trust is built through clear communication and managing expectations. On personal level, Mark reminded us of the importance of work-life balance and continuous learning. Staying updated with trends while managing yourself effectively is crucial for long-term success. Lastly, he spoke about legacy, leaving an impact not just on projects, but on people. Mark's approach to empowering teams, fostering cultural awareness, and mentoring others is an inspiring example for any leader. Mark, thank you for sharing your wisdom and stories with us. Your insights today will undoubtedly resonate with and inspire many.
Thank you for the interview, Timothy. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to share my thoughts with you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us on the Innovation Frontier podcast, Redefining Business. Mark Beseliya shared incredible insights on adaptability, leadership, and leaving a lasting legacy. If you found value in this episode, follow us, share it with your network, and join the conversation on LinkedIn or X. We'd love to hear your thoughts and insights. Until next time, stay innovative and keep redefining the future of business. See you soon.
See you soon.